Greetings on behalf of the 63rd Readiness Division. This is Chaplain Siebold, and I had been doing a series on Noah, and this is the last of a series called The Wine Grape, Noah Part 6. And I'll be reading from Genesis 9:20 through 21. It said, Noah, a man of the soil, was the first to plant a vineyard, and he drank some of the wine, became drunk, and uncovered himself inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. So Noah made a decision to fall back on what he knew from his past and planted a vineyard. And he could have just ate the grapes, but instead he chose to make wine. And I can't say wine's bad, but the abuse of wine is talked about throughout the Bible. On the other hand, a little wine is good like a medicine, it says in the Bible, but abuse leads to making bad decisions or manipulation by others while one's mind is dulled by wine. So Noah grew up hearing first-hand stories of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, and the results of seeing their nakedness. And he would have referred to this when you talk about his nakedness being exposed. But here it's a direct result of Noah drinking too much. And Habakkuk 2:15, this is what he states. He accuses one of his neighbors, possibly, of deliberately making his neighbors drunk to expose their nakedness. This could have been symbolic as well as physical. Either way, it depicts one as losing one's control of their faculties and inhibitions when drinking to excess. So many bad decisions have been made while under the influence of too much alcohol, saturation basically in your blood system. So it also shows that Noah was not able to leave behind what probably contributed to the violence that filled the earth pre-flood. So I'm not blaming the grape for the properties that make wine. I like wine. I have wine with a meal. A heart specialist, after my brother died, told me to drink 4 ounces of wine a day and I'd live longer. So wine can help thin the blood, and the Bible states, like I said before, that a little wine does good like a medicine. But if one cannot just drink a glass of wine with a meal and then stop, one should probably not drink at all. So alcohol consumption is up. I've noticed watching television programs that alcohol consumption is up during this lockdown situation, during this isolation time. So that's not necessarily a bad thing unless it's being abused by the user. So why? The result of Noah's decision to drink too much ended up in Ham's family line being cursed by Noah. He lost position and became slaves to his brother's descendant line. Was it the fault of Ham that he disgraced his father by exposing his nakedness? Did Ham deserve the curse passed down on his family by his father? I can't really answer those questions. I can say that the result of alcoholism in society has not only hurt the abuser, but the children of the abuser who are more likely to become alcoholics than those that do not grow up in households without alcoholic, abusive parents. Of course, there are always exceptions to statistics. But alcohol abuse also often leads to physical abuse and mental abuse, and so on down through the generations. One of Noah's great-grandsons, Nimrod, grandson of Ham, gained a reputation as the king who was rebellious against God. Babel was one of his towns. He is possibly the one who built the Tower of Babel. His name's meaning is rebel. I could argue that his attitude towards God was a direct result of Noah cursing his family lineage. So I have a relative that abused drugs and their family ties. Choices made were destructive on the marriage, and both financially and relationally. It got so bad that they had to decide between dying from an overdose or living. Many people tried to help my relative, but it only enabled this person to continue down their path towards destruction. Only when my relative decided that they needed to make a change did life turn around for them. My relative reached out for help and continues to meet with support groups while seeking meaning in life and through art, family, and spirituality. So this is my question. So when you take a drink of that glass of alcohol, and you know you cannot just drink one glass with a good meal, ask yourself this: do I want to place my family in a position of blessing and curses? Blessing or curses? What do I want to teach my children? What do I want to gift down through the generations, learned from my actions? Do I need help? The first step is difficult, and each step after that leads to life. Do it for yourself first, and then do it for others around you. So my prayer today is this: Lord, make us fruitful in an abundance of blessings within our families and to those around us. Give us wisdom to make wise choices in this life. Help us to see with eyes of those around us. And if change is needed, help us to tenaciously make that transformation, both in action and in direction that leads to life. May you turn your curses into blessings and may you turn our curses into blessings, Lord, and refresh our souls while turning our hearts back to you. Amen.